We're going live. All right. I do believe this is always the fun part because I never know exactly when it went live. So I'm going to give it a minute or so. It says we're going, and then I end up finding that I'm still talking to people even though I don't realize I'm live, but it's all good. It's all good. So this technology, I don't know about you, but we're going to work our way through it. It says we are streaming. So we are going to believe Facebook Live in the up corner. We're going to go with it. So welcome so much to It's Time to Excel. I'm Janet Ickes, and I am hosting today, and I'm so honored to have Sherri and Lou Everett from the Lou Everett Group. Nothing like getting tongue-tied to start a Wednesday out. But it's all right, because you know what? That's just part of life. And you guys know that I tend to be exceptionally transparent. You guys get where we're at. Yes. And I think we all can relate, especially into this chaos. But the bottom line is, no matter what challenges we face, we can still be inspired and we can still ignite possibilities, because you know what? It is time to excel. So welcome, Sherri and Lou, and thank you so much for spending some time with me. And I would say mindset is just such a huge thing right now, because this world's topsy-turvy.
Yes.
And I would imagine you would agree with that. And that's where a lot of this is. We just really want to help folks to excel. And you guys are coming in and you're going to help us talk about some solutions to limiting beliefs, because sometimes do we get in our own way, I'm going to guess?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I kind of figured that might be the case. And I am very much encouraging, and I would love for you guys, I want to showcase you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then we're going to dive into some of these things that are going to help us to excel going forward. So I'll turn it over to you guys for a few minutes.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us. Go ahead.
Sure. Well, thank you again, Janet, for allowing us to take up some space today and share some nuggets of information that we want to share out to everyone, because we understand that people are a very overwhelming state of mindset right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, and plus the schools. That has been, most people went back to school, or their version of school. So, we get it. So we're here today just to maybe give some really great, solid piece of nuggets of 4 solutions to help self-limiting thinking. So for those of you that do not know us, I am Sherri, this is Lou. We are a husband and wife duo. We are the Lou Everett Group, and we're executive leadership coaches, trainers, and speakers. So we really help small businesses out with the leadership development and personal growth, as well as effective communication. So we want to focus on the mindset, kind of like those soft skills that we tend to forget. You build into a new role, or even as a solo entrepreneur, you have this wonderful new vision, and now you have employees. Now what?
Now you're ready.
How do you communicate? How do you get them to be a duplicate of yourself? And you want to hold those values to yourself. So we're here to share a little bit about that. Doesn't matter where you are on the business spectrum. If you have, if you've just been recently maybe laid off from a job at this time, or that you're starting a new position with that. I think all these rules apply, and it's something that we can all walk away with a little bit deeper knowledge than before.
Awesome. Today's as you mentioned, Janet, that the season that we're in, the reality of it is that we weren't prepared. You can't really prepare for a season like this. But what we can do is, when a season like this approaches, to lean on our resources and to lean on those that really want to build up other people and help people find ways to transition through seasons like this. And Sherri and I, that is really where our heart is. That is why we started this business, to help transform people. Yeah, we focus on leadership because, you see, the definition of leadership is very interesting. And we'll get back to this because it all ties back to self-limiting thinking. Because we're all leaders in some fashion. We need to develop ourselves as a person in order to develop ourselves as a leader, whether it's leading our family, which right now, as Sherri mentioned, with schools, and how a lot of us now are teachers at home and trying to lead in a very different way. And at the same time, trying to lead a family and trying to work and trying to do those types of things. And the reality of it is we need to develop who we are. to give back to our family. We can't give them something we don't have. And so that's really truly where our heart is, whether it's doing corporate training, or whether we're training and developing a leader or a team and helping them understand that, or working one-on-one with an entrepreneur, solopreneur, trying to understand their purpose and their why, to identify what it is that's keeping them and holding them back from being successful and feeling stuck. So that's really our true passion. So that's who we are. And thank you so much, Janet, for having us on. It's always a pleasure to work with people like you and be connected with influencers like yourself. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's been such a win-win. We met at a networking event and we've just connected, and we have just been that right from the beginning.
Right.
And there's always just been, because I think our hearts are in the same place. We want folks, we want to transform them. We want to, be able to share what strengths we have and yet blend them together, because we make a great, team, because there's different strengths that each one of us can offer. Right. And to be able to do that, I'm just absolutely. So I'm just so grateful for that. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead and get started here, because these self-limiting beliefs, I think, get in our way so much that it's just really, really hard. And I know at the end, you'll, have a little offer. So our guests who are listening in, we'll have a little surprise for them. So I look forward to that, but we're not going to tell them what it is yet. We're going to wait till the end and share with them. We got to at least give it a little bit of surprise, have a little bit of fun with it. So, so go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and start sharing, a little bit about these beliefs that we need to be a little bit more aware of.
Yeah, thank you. It really started, Sherri, we had talked, and Sherri had ran 2 polls online and asked, and these were specifically in women groups, women empowerment groups, and groups with women, which really gave us the pulse of because the reality of it is, and I'm a firm believer that a woman in the household is the pulse of the family. That's really where the pulse begins. Because of how they feel about impacting their own family, because then it trickles. And so that pulse, when we did the poll, of the question was, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's worded something similar to this, is what is it that's holding you back from investing in personal development? And notice the word investing isn't really tied, we didn't say money, we didn't say investing.
Investing, yes, that was a different way of thinking about it. When you said that, I'm like, oh, and I don't know, I'm not sure how to answer that yet.
Right. And the majority, we're looking at 62% came back with money as the reason. And Sherri and I, with our over 4 decades of experience working with people and coaching and working with people on a mindset level, we realized very quickly that money isn't the challenge. It's because of, do you feel you're worth the investment? Because the question was posed after that. Okay, well, if money wasn't an object,
completely,
and all the different answers that came back were, well, that's time. I'm not sure if I'm worth that. I want to rather invest in my family instead. So, and that made it kind of solidified for us the importance of understanding that people are worth it. You cannot give back to your family and people that you love if you don't have it first.
You can't give
so
away
your
something
investment, you're providing additional investment for them, right?
Yeah.
And so that begins the self-limiting thinking. Where are we limited, right? Have we looked outside that box and realized, if I do invest in myself, what more can I give, right? So we have the 4 solutions to self-limiting thinking, and we'll discuss that here. And Janet, you're going to have to let us know we're getting close to our time limit, because I'm a teacher. I love to teach, and I tend
Me
to
too. So we may be over today. It's all good.
We might be over today. All right, yeah. But these are 4 solutions that what we want you to do, and I'm going to have Sherri start this. What I want you to do is, as we go through this, instead of saying, I've heard this before, because we have heard a lot of things, but the real question is, how well are you doing them? That's the question. That's the only way we get unstuck.
And applying.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you
So-
going to do? Okay,
Want to take number one?
Sure.
let's go for it.
All right. So number one is actually to identify a limiting belief that you want to change. So identifying a limiting belief that you want to change. And that comes at many different facets.
Mhm.
It could be personal, it could be, business. It all kind of interjects or intertwines there a little bit. But
Yeah.
at least identify at least one limiting belief as what the poll that I did. What's holding someone back from investing in personal development?
Mhm.
We had all sorts of comments that came back, and it wasn't actual money. Occasionally it was, but then opposed to, but what if money was an object? Then
Especially since we didn't say invest money.
Right, invest
Exactly.
money.
It was investment.
Right.
Yeah.
And it came back to, well, I want to invest in everyone else but myself,
Mhm.
and putting themselves last. And then there was this guilt of, well, I feel guilty if I would feel selfish if I took it, if I did something of investment.
And those are all self-limiting
And
beliefs.
all self-limiting.
So when we say, how do we identify what those self-limiting beliefs are? Very simply, listen to what you say and watch what you write,
Mhm.
and they'll come out, right? So if money is the issue, maybe the money mindset's the challenge.
Right.
Maybe that's your self-limiting belief.
Mhm.
If it's the guilty, well, okay, maybe the guilt. What are you guilty for? Why do you feel guilty for investing yourself? So that might be the limiting belief. So identifying that it might be a challenge for you. And if it is, ask somebody else
Mhm.
that you really trust that can be direct with you and say, if you were to say what self-limiting belief that I might have, what is it? It's okay to listen to those people, because once you identify it, now you're aware.
It's true.
And
You
then the
can't
next
change
three
something until you
will
know
make
about
sense.
it.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. I cannot say it
Mhm.
any better. And to make us aware of that, and I think very quickly right now, money has always been the first answer,
Right.
but there's so much
Always.
more that's under that,
Yeah.
Always.
that's causing that. And that's an excellent point to bring up. And we got to figure it out. As you said, we have to identify with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
And what
not
will
easy.
it cost you? Right.
Mhm.
Say, what we think, what will it cost me to invest in myself financially, resources, whatever it might be, time.
Yeah, it's more than
And
just
but
money.
then, yeah.
Right.
And so, but then think, well, what if you don't? What will it cost you?
Right.
And the
So
answer to that is
changing
it'll
that
cost you.
thought process.
Right.
Yeah, and it'll cost you everything, won't it?
Yeah.
It can cost you everything.
It could cost everything.
And that's really what it comes down to. So identifying that limiting
Excellent.
belief. Yeah. So the second solution is determine how that belief limits you.
Okay.
Now, when we ask a question like this, we say this, we usually pause because we have to think about this. So let me repeat it. Determine how that belief limits you. How? So feeling guilty, how does that limit you? Not wanting to invest because of money, or in parentheses, I'm not sure if I'm worth it. How does that limit you? Or whatever it might be. Those are just a couple of examples. It could be anything. It could be imposter syndrome, right? I'm afraid someone's going to find out that I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, we don't all know what we're talking about. We're all learning. It's okay. So we understand what that limiting belief. Yeah. So whatever it is, it's okay to admit it to yourself and determine how it limits you. So then write this down, identify it. So identify it, and then how does it limit you? Right.
You're making us
3.
think. And that's good.
Yeah.
That's very good. We're making us think here, even myself here. Like, okay.
Right.
We were asked these questions.
Mhm.
We ask ourselves these all the time.
I think it's
And-
something that we need to do on a regular basis,
Right.
each and every one of us, especially as business owners, because times change, seasons change, personal life changes. And guess what? It's all, as Sherri said, they're all intertwined.
Right.
Everything is
it.
intertwined. So by asking us,
All of
it
it.
really makes a difference. So identifying it, and how is it limiting you?
Mhm.
So what else do we got to think about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it goes into number 3 is that we need to create a turnaround statement. And we kind of touched on that just a second ago, what Lou just said, but it's a turnaround statement that affirms or gives permission to be, to act, and to feel this new way. Right?
New way.
And a new way.
That's
And I
new.
kind of equate this with like a fitness routine, right? We get the fad, we get the, January comes around, everybody wants the quick fix, and we're in the microwave, leadership, as we call it too. But still, everybody would like to be, skinny, rich, and healthy. And fast. And fast.
I say yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not true. And in order to lose the weight, we need to shed the weight. We use a different terminology. You shed it. And
yeah, right. What happens when you lose some? When you lose your keys, what do you want to try to do with it?
Yeah.
You want to go find them.
Precisely.
Right. So when you shed the things that are holding you back, changes things.
You wouldn't be able to reach for something new if you don't let go of the past sometimes too.
Right.
How often are we stuck in? That's kind of what I was thinking about when you made that, if you don't let go, how can you reach for the next thing?
That's right.
And that's, I think, exactly what you guys are saying.
That's exactly right.
We need to release that. We need to release those limiting thoughts. We need to release those old habits to get back in. It's the comfort zone
But we
which
like
we all have heard and liked and know about to really push past that.
Okay.
And there's a new way, just like when we talk about new fitness, where it's a lifestyle. If you really talk to people that really do it for a living and that is their passion, they talk about lifestyle. It's not a fad. It's not a diet. It's a new way of thinking. It's a new way of acting. It's a new way of feeling.
Yeah.
So that's what resonates to me. And I think that should resonate with the audience. If you're a business owner or on a personal perspective, mom, dad, it doesn't matter. As long as it gets through to the point, you need to think differently, act differently, and feel differently.
And you got to take a step in that direction.
Yeah.
Taking a step. See, success happens where you step, not where you stand.
Very good point.
Right? Where you stand, it's stagnation, fear of movement. There's no change. There's no success. It happens where you step. And creating that turnaround statement is the step in that direction to affirm that it's okay for me to feel this new way. It's okay to feel worth it. It's okay that I'm investing in who I am so I can give to other people, i.e. my family, right? It's okay.
Okay.
So having that turnaround statement affirms that. May have to tweak it occasionally, but it affirms it. And Sherri's right. It takes time and resources. Using the people around you that can get you there, that can give you the feedback necessary to really succeed, to get where you are now to where you really intend to be and where your true empowered future is supposed to be. That begins there with that turnaround statement.
And I think as coaches,
Go
for it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was saying, as coaches, what's coming to mind is like you guys are helping us when we're in the weeds like that.
Yes.
It's so hard to see over here.
Right.
Because I am just so like overwhelmed. I am, everything's just crumbling down on me. I can't even see the light at some days.
That's right.
And I would say, in your programs, I know that that's one thing that you're helping others to get through that and find, I would say the light, but in essence, to find that solution that we cannot see. And that's what I was thinking. Let's let it go.
No, and thank you for saying that. And because you're right, it's using people like us, like you, and other resources to be able to just, it could be something that somebody just needs to literally, that term pulling back the weeds is literal. Imagine just standing out in a forest where you've never been before, and you're just crowded by trees and bushes, and literally you literally can pull this back and it's like, oh, I'm there. I'm almost there. But you're not going to do that because you're so wrapped up with what's going on around you. Sherri just sat with an acquaintance of ours that reached out, and she's starting another venture in a business, and she's got two things going on, and she's just so strong at what she does, and just wanted to chat. And Sherri chatted with her for 30 minutes, didn't charge her, just to have a chat. And within that 30 minutes, some simple things came to the realization for her that helped her traject to the right direction. Again, she was able to take the step
One step.
and be okay with feeling that new way. Changes everything. Changes
Agreed.
everything.
Agreed. Absolutely.
So the fourth solution in this list here is, and this is the most important step, okay, of all of these. So just to repeat, number one was identifying those limiting beliefs. Number two, determine how it limits you. Number three, create that turnaround statement that says it's okay. Give yourself permission to feel that new way. And number four, the most important step out of all of these is to repeat that turnaround statement to yourself every single day until that self-limiting thought is changed. Every day. The most powerful voice we can give ourselves is our own. There is no other voice in the world that's more powerful than that. And here's the proof. I'll bet you money. You and everybody else out there, including myself, have read hundreds of books. Oh, I want to do this. So you go and you buy a book. We read it.
Exactly.
What's changed?
Yeah.
We put it on the shelf if we finish.
Self-help.
Self-help.
As long as we finish it.
I'm not denying that those books are, we've read some that have been very powerful, and we use a lot of those resources. But what I will tell you that those resources mean nothing if we don't change.
You got to apply it. Sherri made that statement. You've got to apply it.
That's it. And we got to listen to our own voice. Our voice is telling us, I've got to do this. How do I do this? We use a reach out. Can you help me get this done? And then we get that done. The best self-help processes or books or whatever are those that have a program to get you from where you are now to where you intend to be, not just handing you a book and say, go for it. Because the voice in your mind, like you said, we're crowded with where we want to go. And there's so much in there. We got so much going on that we can't see through it. And all we need is to convince ourselves and give ourselves permission to think clearly, eliminate the self-limiting beliefs. And we do that with our own voice. And we need the help of other people sometimes, and that's okay. So repeating that turnaround statement is essential. Having it everywhere you go and repeating it every day until that self-limiting thought is now moved on. And then guess what? You rinse and repeat starting at
I was going to say, and the next one comes.
That's exactly right.
And you'll be surprised when you use that, whatever that limiting belief is, you have a faster rebound. And I just had a client this morning that we were just talking about this, that she had a negative in her mind. And I go, well, what do you do now? She goes, oh, well, my rebound's much faster. And her rebound, meaning her statement, is turned around.
She can do it like this instead of having to
instead of wallowing in it, instead of bringing herself to tears. You know, could be days that she could move past it. Now,
she can sense it. She hears her voice, and then is able to take that turnaround statement and rewrite it and begin it. See, and that's where we need to be.
Right.
If we're going to succeed. Yeah, if we're going to excel, it's the only way we can. We've got to take that next step. Because too often we can't take that step because everything's in our way. Those beliefs have gotten us almost crippled, or, you know, as you said, standing still or stagnant. You're just not moving anywhere.
That's right.
And that's not where we want to be. And I know that's definitely not how you guys encourage. And I know that's a lot of the reason we have connected so well is because we want folks to be moving forward, and showcasing their strengths.
That's right.
As we work it together and building one another up. And that's, you know, the entire thing with this whole entire program of it's time to excel. And that's truly what I want to do. And you guys are so much on board with that. And how much of it is in with mindset. And we get we're our own worst enemies. How many times?
Yes.
We stand in our way all the time, don't we?
We do. We're very good at it.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. I always use that analogy about the mountain, right? We say faith can move mountains. Well, mindset can move mountains too. But here's the challenge. I'll ask you a question and I'll ask everybody else a question. What if you are your own mountain? See, that's a difficult one to move.
It sure is. And too often we are.
Yeah, that's it. And too often we are. And sometimes that mountain is just really difficult to move or to go around or to go up it. And we just need that reassurance. We need someone to say, to give us that, clear back that noise like you, I love what you said, Janet. Find the strengths, because we all have them. When we say self-limiting beliefs, what we are saying here is that there is no limit.
Exactly.
There is no limit. I have heard people argue this with me. Well, there's a limit. You don't have the ability to do this. Oh, yes, you do. We all do. If we have it in our thought, if we can think, if we have the thought in our mind to accomplish something, the thought was put there for a reason. And that reason is because you have the ability to do it. If that thought didn't enter your mind, then that's different. But if it's in there, that means you can do it. Why would any higher power, whatever you believe in, whether it's God or whatever it might be, why would they put that thought in your mind or that thought into your mind if it's impossible? They wouldn't. It wouldn't happen that way. It's possible. As you said, the only thing limiting us is us. And we just need to find a way to eliminate those self-limiting thoughts. And it is a lifelong process, but we can speed it up. Right? We can speed it up.
And is that something that you can share? Because I do believe that surprise kind of encompasses kind of where you're going, and maybe offering that hand out to folks that are ready to make that next step and say, oh, you know what? I'm tired of this. I want to break through this. And I think that you guys can help them to do that.
Yeah, and I don't blame anybody for being tired of it. Yeah. And we all go through those ebbs and flows.
We do.
Sherri and I have been working really, really hard on a couple of things to add value to other people. And one of those is our empowerment training platform. And it's an online training platform, 24/7, already recorded, put together courses and trainings that focus on self-limiting thinking for personal growth, as well as other things, not just self-limiting thinking, but other personal growth things like how to communicate with your family. How do I strengthen my thoughts? How do I eliminate certain, how do I grow, right? And then there's another track of leadership, being a successful leader, communicating with my team, the five secrets or the 5 successes of communication. And what we want to do, because you invited us here, is we want to give 2 free trainings away.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and all you got to do, and we'll put it in the chat here after we're finished.
Perfect.
Is to go to the site and sign up for the 2 free trainings. That's it, and you'll get access to those 2 free trainings. And it'll even give you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And if it speaks to you and it helps you, there's a way to get on into the full platform as well, if that is what you choose to do.
And this is something that we have created. This
right, it's ours.
This is ours.
We've developed it from ground up. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're really excited about it, and we really hope that it helps and adds value to you guys, everybody. But we're not quite done. Do you mind if we let them know of something else that we got coming up? But I really think that would fit
Let's
well.
Go for it. Absolutely. We've already been spoiled, so why not get a little bit more spoiled? So go for it.
Did you want to tell them about the Mastermind Alliance?
Sure. We have, starting on August 29th, is what we're calling is choose a meaningful life Mastermind Alliance.
Choosing a life that matters.
Choosing a life that matters.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay, we get to choose it.
Yes, and you're choosing your life intentionally, right? And so we're actually going to dive into an intentional living in on the mindset.
Being intentional.
Being intentional. So it is a 10-week mastermind, but it's alliance because we're learning from each other.
Right.
Now, the book that we're doing is a John Maxwell book. However, it's on intentional living. And there's so many good nuggets of information that I'm telling you're going to walk away with a whole new perspective. And a lot of it is, and part of this, I should say, is that self-limiting thinking and what to do and solutions to move forward.
Yeah, what's great about the Mastermind Alliance, and the word of the Mastermind Alliance, those 3 words actually come from Napoleon Hill, who was it's an amazing writer on a very mindset level. If nobody's heard of Napoleon Hill, look him up. But Napoleon Hill used that term first of anyone that I remember, is mastermind. And Mastermind Alliance is the coming together of like-minded people, because the more you have, the more power there is in numbers. And we just facilitate. That's all we do.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and that's so. Well, we'll put the information in there on how to do that.
Please,
but how to find
absolutely.
your why, things like that. Things like that. How to find your why. How to identify these self-limiting thinking. How to, and you're able to take this dive into a journey of who you are personally, without any judgment, so that you can grow.
We'll put that link in because there are some bonuses once you sign up to as well.
Yes, you
so
get,
it's not, you get some goodies as well. So
we all love goodies.
Which
so I encourage anyone that gets a chance, check this out.
Yeah.
Take advantage of the 2 free trainings. My goodness, we can't ask for anything more. Get some exposure, get to know Sherri and Lou like I've gotten an opportunity as we've been growing together. And check them out. And this alliance, Mastermind Alliance, as you mentioned, that's what we need to do. We have to get the like-minded folks together so we all can grow.
Right. That's right. And we are very excited about it. And one of those bonuses, and I'll throw this out there just to give you a little whet your appetite for signing up for this Mastermind Alliance, you get full access to the full platform, the empowerment training platform for the 10 weeks that you're in this program, without any additional cost. It's just so you can experience that and have that for your additional 24/7 bonus. So that's just one of the additional pieces we're throwing in when you sign up. So take a look. We'll put the link in there.
Perfect.
And we'd love to have you.
Yes, I encourage everyone to please definitely go out and check. Your website is there. We'll make sure that's in the chat as well. Your contact information is there. And we're just going to encourage everybody to excel, because together we can do it. And thank you guys so much. I was just so honored and blessed to have you as part of this program as we're going to continue our journey together. And I'm sure as we continue, we're going to have lots more opportunities to be able to connect and share and help to grow those that we have been working with, across the board, because they're going to support each other.
That's right. Thank you, Janet. And likewise, it's been amazing working with you.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. It is time to excel. So go out and make it a great day. All right.